I mean, when you think about Lent as a season of repentance, I think repentance is one of those really big churchy words that a lot of times we just, it becomes so overused, we don't really know what it means. And I think of repentance as return. I think
Mhm.
about the parable of the prodigal son and how this is an illustrative, like it illustrates to us what the movement of repentance looks like. It looks like returning to the home of your father. And you know what? Repentance is a very human act, because you think about the son, the younger son, as he returns to his father, he's got the whole speech prepared in his head, right? I'm not
Mhm.
worthy to be called your son. Just treat me as a slave. Just hopefully you'll feed me again. And so if we think about just repentance as return,
Mhm.
and Lent is a season of repentance. It's a season that we can sort of mark out of our calendar where we can return to consecrating ourselves to God. I think repentance and return are daily acts. I don't think we
Mhm.
only do it at the time during the season of Lent, but there is something really beautiful to sort of like mark out a season of time, to sort of to dedicate it to God, and to just say, I'm going to give more attention to this. And there is something really beautiful to just sort of set our intentions toward God, toward returning to God, toward acknowledging our sin, and a willingness to sort of hear his words. And, again, returning to Deuteronomy and thinking about the Hebrew title, Devarim. These
Mm.
are the words. I mean, Lent can be a beautiful time where you just actually create intentional space in your day to hear the words of God, to make room. And I think we, it's so true, isn't it, that our lives are so crowded, so busy. We just kind of we operate under the assumption like, yeah, I would give God time if there were more room, instead of maybe asking ourselves, like, how do we create room?
Mm.
And Lent, you can create more room for God as you give things up. I mean, that's another part of Lent, right?
Mhm.
Is to sort of maybe you give up, you fast from, I mean, you could do from food or chocolate, but you can also fast from things that take your time, that distract you, to sort of where whatever you use to sort of fritter away your time. Maybe that's the thing that you give up so that you create room
Mm.
for return and for the words of God.
If you enjoyed this conversation from the Transforming Discipleship podcast, listen to the full episode at SmallGroups.com/podcast.